from a tree in an enchanted forest. It's your good friend Whimsy Rainbow Star, and I'm actually here to discuss my attack plan for my Bayonetta cosplay. Now, as you guys know, Bayonetta is a character who her outfit is crazy, so I'm taking on a big project by cosplaying her for Anime Expo, and obviously Anime Expo is kind of getting closer and closer, so I need to get started with this. But I literally had to sit and analyze every aspect of this costume that I'm going to have to do. Because for those of you who've seen the game played or watched my plays, whatever, her outfit consists of her hair. Meaning, I have to incorporate hair into the costume. Now, it's not going to be completely made of hair. That would be dumb. But it's going to have hair incorporated into it. Now, I don't have any... I'm going to use mostly black hair extensions that are straight. But I don't have any of those yet. I have to look online for the right length. But I went ahead and got most of the materials that I'm going to need. So I'm basically going to go over how I'm going to do this. Now obviously I could just make a black bodysuit and call it a day. But to the trained eye, and I mean I took fashion classes, so when I look at a costume or an outfit, I look at every single aspect, every seam, every difference of fabric, all that. Bayonetta actually has like 4 or 5 different black fabrics on her bodysuit. They may not be fabric because they're made of her hair, but, well, we have to make it out of spandex because that's the only option. Or leather. I actually lucked out and found some spandex. It's stretchy, but it looks like a leathery consistency, so that's really cool. I'm really excited to use that. So let me show you the 5 fabrics that I got. I may not use all of them, but in looking at her outfit, it's like different shades of black. It's very interesting. Here's one of my leathery black fabrics, and it stretches. I think it's a 4-way stretch, so that's really good. Then I have this fabric that's also shiny. Now, they're not all the same shade of black either because her outfit has different shades of like black or dark gray, so I had to be very careful with that. Now, one of these fabrics may or may not get used, but I also have this, which is really neat. It's actually textured. It's got like this really cool, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like, it almost looks like the texture of her leather. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to use this or not. I had to repurchase this fabric because my friends actually bought me some for my birthday because they sent me on a business shopping spree and we bought some of this fabric. I cannot find it, so I had to go buy some more myself, so unfortunately. Now, on Bayonetta's chest, and I think it's only her chest, specifically her boobs, she has like a lighter gray color fabric. So that'll be interesting. I didn't get a lot of this because I don't need a lot. These other ones I got like a yard or 2. Now this one is for her shoulders because her shoulders are a very dark, black, shiny fabric. So I think it's where her hair kind of blends into the outfit. So I got a yard of this lovely, you can hear it, it's so, love this fabric, but stuff's expensive. But this will work good for her shoulders, I think. I bought a pair of shoes at a Goodwill. These are the closest I could get to her shoes. Now they're not going to stay this way. I'm going to alter them completely. I'm going to add a covered toe right here, and I'm going to use this fabric. It's actually, this is not a stretch fabric. This is like a pleather vinyl kind of, it's a fake, you know, like, but it's good for doing stuff like this, but it's very thick, but it should be good for a shoe. So I'll use that to draw the strap that she has across it and then cover this up. And then, I don't have the fabric yet, but covering the rest of the foot will be like a gray mesh, because her shoes look like they might be a mesh fabric. I'm not really sure, but we'll see how that works. Obviously not all of this is like exactly going to work the way I might be thinking. I might run into some things. Now, I don't have the fabric for this either, but Bayonetta has slits down the sides of her legs. Now, I could just cut a hole in the fabric down the leg. Problem is, with stretch fabrics, if you cut any sort of hole, it's gonna like, yeah, there's no resistance, so it'll like just kind of fall back. I did this before with a bodysuit. I cut slits down the side, and the whole thing became loose. So I don't want that to happen with this because it has to be tight. So what I'm going to do, and it's not because of like, not me being self-conscious, obviously some of you guys might know I cosplayed Ivy from Soul Calibur 4. Yeah, it's more for the functionality of it. So I'm going to find a fabric that is like a mesh illusion fabric that stretches and is roughly my skin tone. That way it just keeps it together. That's really the only purpose for that. I did not know she had slits down the sides of her legs till I started heavily looking at the outfit, or playing the game really. Playing the game has really also helped me analyze her costume because you can't really find every single shot, angle, everything. I had that problem with Ivy. I couldn't find certain angles. Okay, now, I don't know, because the fabric stores usually sell gloves. Bayonetta's got gloves, but her gloves, the palms are red. I once tried to make the Bayonetta cosplay in like 2011. I was really not skilled enough to do it yet. I had no idea what I was doing, but I made the gloves, and I remember it was really difficult. I've made gloves. They're pretty tricky, and I don't even make them the way you're supposed to make them, because if you look at the patterns for a glove, oh my lord, there's so many pieces. But when you have, like, spandex, you can cheat. You can just take a drawing of your hand, trace it, whatever, cut out the thumb, make it, because the thumb has to move. And then you just, like, cut 2 of those, and you have a glove, because it'll stretch. But gloves, they're still annoying to make, because fingers, and you don't want the seams to be too big. They can't be, because they, you know. I may or may not just purchase a glove and do something about the red palms. If I don't end up doing that, I lucked out, and I actually found some nice white spandex fabric that I could use to make the gloves. I don't have the red for the palms, but this could work if I need it to. It's stretchy too. It's really nice fabric. But I don't know where I bought, or why I bought this fabric. I don't know why I bought this fabric. It's been in my drawer for like 5 years, so I don't know where I got it, but I'll use it if I have to. But like I said, if I don't, I'll just, you know, buy a glove, put red on it. Now, this fabric, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm going to use this for. If you notice, Bayonetta has a lot of chains on her costume. The problem, though, you could use chain, which would be cool. The problem is, Bayonetta's extremely flexible. And if I were to, because I'm going to, for poses, I'm going to do, like, crazy moves and stuff. If I were to, like, put the chain on the costume just straight on it, if I started to flex, it would rip out of the costume. Or I could sit there and stitch in each little chain so that it, like, has a flexibility, or, like, the links, you know, will, like, loosen up. But her chains are also like an X shape, so it's like, okay, like I said, things may change, but for now, I have this fabric here. It's a really cool, like, it's got, like, holes in it, kind of like it's really weird. I've used this to make, like, fake chainmail. It's kind of cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, like, a really narrow strip and do something to make it not look messy or anything, but, like, and then cut these little circles out and make what looks like a little chain. But this is stretchy, so it'll stretch with me. That's the main thing I'm trying to worry about. Now, you're probably wondering what these are for. I don't know if this is going to work, but trying to find, like, just a flat, gem-shaped thing, like, here, hold on. So I have this, right? But trying to find this without the pointy part is, like, nearly impossible, especially in a color you might need it. I remember I had this problem with Ivy, too, because she has jewels on her whip. Bayonetta's got a lot of jewels on her guns. Each gun has 2. They're different colors. She also has that bead on her, or that gem on her chest with that moon thing. So what I'm going to try to do, if this works, is saw off the pointy part, and then use the flat part, paint some of them with metallic paint. We will see if this works. If it doesn't, well, then there you go. Whatever, I have supplies for other stuff. So hopefully that works out. Now, the reason I bought a box this big is because I'm like, that's a lot of gems. I don't really need that many, but this was the only box that had the big ones. But the reason for it is, I've come across where I've needed gems for a lot of cosplays, so why not just get a big box and use it? Because I'm like, I've already had 2 cosplays. Miranda had 1 that needed a gem. So clearly I need gems, so I'm gonna just keep these. These hopefully they'll work. Hopefully I can saw them flat and whatever, and paint them, and we'll see. If it doesn't work, well, we have cool looking gems for something. I don't know. I got it on sale, thankfully. I do use coupons at Michael's and such. Got a bunch of these. These are mostly for, I accidentally bought 5, but these are for her medallions. She's got, like, these giant medallion things that come off of her sleeves. And those will be attached to chains, actual chains, because that part's not going to need to stretch. But what I'm going to do is use this as the outline for the medallions, and then use this to stick inside of it to make the shape of them. And some of them have gems, so I'll just, like, either paint metallic paint on or put gems in it. But this is just foam. I'll double side it, though, because it's, you know, if the glitter effect, because I want it to look metallic without looking dumb, because I've spray painted foam before with metallic paint and it kind of doesn't look that great. But if this looks too gaudy, whatever, it was like 99 cents, I don't care. So if I need to use different foam and spray paint it, we'll see. But this will give, like, a good sturdy outline to it instead of it looking rickety, because I'm not really good about being precise with certain things, so this will be good. Plus I think it'll help with the metal. Now I have this one, which is a smaller one in comparison. This one's for the one that goes on her chest, It's going to do the same function. I'm just going to have to make the moon on the inside, put the gem, make it all fancy, because that thing is fancy as heck. And that's where that will go. I mean, my chest isn't as big as hers, but it should work just fine. These two are for the back of her legs where the chains actually end on her backside. There's like little medallions back there too. Same thing. I also need to buy some more of these because I realized that Bayonetta's got belt buckles on her sleeves. She's got like 3 giant straps. I don't have the fabric for that yet. I couldn't find it. 3 giant straps with like a moon cut out, and they're like, they've got holes in them for like a belt. But the belt buckles are moons. So what I'm going to do, get one of these, and maybe also, that's what I have this for, it's metal wire, so I can make it look like a fake buckle. I don't really care if it's not functional. It'll look like what it needs to look like. But then somehow fill out the moon, maybe use foam again, and I'll have moon buckles. And she has some on her shoes too, I just noticed that. Alright, now, this is for her hair. She has ribbon in her hair. Obviously I'm going to have to look at it because it's got little symbols on it, but we got like 4 yards, just in case, because it's wrapped up in her hair bun thing. And, you know, that can kind of get excessive, so there's a lot of this. May not use it all, but, you know, it's good for the nice long flowy ribbons. Obviously I bought oodles and oodles of black thread, and I gathered all the leftovers, especially for my friend's coat, which there'll be a time-lapse video for that coming up. And then, of course, for functionality, a zipper. This will go down the center front, because that's pretty much where, because the back side of her bodysuit is a giant diamond cutout of her back, which again, I'm going to have to figure out how to prevent the spandex from like loosening. I've made a bodysuit with a diamond cutout before. It wasn't quite as big as Bayonetta's, but it was outlined with some of this like vinyl-y kind of fabric to keep it open, which worked, but Bayonetta's is a bit bigger, and I don't want something to be obvious like that, so we're going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. But yeah, this zipper should give the proper functionality. If it's too long, I can shorten it, but it should be fine for what it needs to do. So now for the hair extensions. I'm going to get like 4 sets of extensions, because here's my thought process on this. 1 set will go in my hair, that or we will get a wig and style it, because I don't know how, I'm not really good with doing hair. I have relatives who do hair, like they style hair for a living and stuff, so I might ask some of them how to do this, but either we will get extensions, put them in my hair. I'm going to dye my hair black again for Bayonetta. And it's not long enough, as you can see, it's very short. Dye my hair black, put black extensions in it that are really long, and then do up the hair, but that's the thing, we'd have to do that each morning. And Bayonetta has the ribbon in her hair as well as gold chain, so that's a little tricky, and how to get it up is, you know. My grandma suggested possibly like something I could clip to my head that isn't a wig, but isn't really extensions, like it's you know, something you just clip on and it stays there. That's an option too, because that would be probably the easiest one, because it's done, but it's not a wig, because wigs are uncomfortable. So we'll see if that works out. It's kind of going to be a little iffy when it comes to the hair stuff. But regardless of what hair thing I use, at the very top, inside of her very tall bun, I'm going to have something that another set of extensions could clip to. Because from the top of her hair comes out all these other strands of hair. There's about 6 of them, I think, but they cling to her costume because that's the hair fusing into the bodysuit. But this is real life, so, you know, hair is not elastic, so I don't know how I'm going to pull that off without it pulling, because if I pull my head a certain way, I don't want it to, like, rip or anything. But what I think I might do, also because I don't want it to be attached to the costume because that looks kind of dumb, or like permanently attached, I might take the extensions, split them into sections, but not like cut apart the extensions, split them, and then maybe glue in some hidden way Velcro to each tip and stick the Velcro to the parts where the hair is supposed to stick to. That's one option, but as far as other options, I think that was the one I decided on, because other than that, I don't really know how I would fuse the fabric to the bodysuit. Sorry, I don't know how I would fuse the hair to the bodysuit. It's kind of a tricky thing. Some people don't usually worry about it, they just do the wig, but I'm like, I want this to look super accurate. Like, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cosplay stuff. Like, mine, I want them to look exactly like the character looks. And that's just me. No one else needs to feel that way. Like, that's just because I'm like, it's just, I don't know, I get bothered when I'm making a costume and it doesn't look exactly the way it needs to. That was the problem I had when I was younger, when my mom used to sew my costumes, was I wanted it to be super specific, and she's like, why don't we just do this? And I'm like, but that's like, not how it looks, you know, kind of thing. But, you know, that's just how I work. It's no big deal. Now, on her sleeves, this will be a little easier, I hope. Coming off of her sleeves is more hair. Now, my thought is to get 2 sets of extensions. They're going to need to be very long, like 34 inches, I think I measured, and completely straight. And I'm going to just attach the whole thing, because it's got to be a whole set, because that's easier, to the sleeve. And it'll just come off like some nice flowy thing. I've seen people, I think some have done that, some just get like a piece of like black fabric, which works too. I thought about this left and right, how I was going to do it. I was like, oh, maybe I could do like embroidery floss or thread or yarn. I'm like, let's just get extensions, because that looks like hair. That's the way it's supposed to flow, and it'll look prettier, I think. So it's just going to be a matter of getting extensions that long and stitching it into the arms and all that. So the shoes are going to be a separate item, and I'm going to include the guns on them, because that's something that was like, and it's another part of Bayonetta that's like an iconic thing. I know most cosplayers don't do it, probably because it is too complicated, but I'm going to figure out how to do it. And making her guns, I've got PVC pipe and wood out in the garage that I already have earmarked for this project. So I have to make 4 guns, 2 of which are going to fit on the shoes, which is why I'm going to have to make a bigger strap on the shoes with this on the top part so that the gun sticks to it. Because it's kind of a weird thing to engineer, because, you know, the back of their leg isn't straight down where the gun barrel should be, but it'll be something I'll figure out. Just have to make sure they don't fall off. It's going to be a little weird to walk, I think, because it's like the barrel extends to your heel, so it's like, it might make it feel like there's more on your heel to like hit down. Kind of like the reverse of when you wear like flippers in the pool and you try to walk and it's like weird, you know? I hope it doesn't look like that. That would be really awkward. I might cheat a little bit on the guns and shape the barrel so that it's rounded so that my heel can, like, you know, roll on the ground a bit, but we'll see. I mean, if it works fine, it works fine. I may start the shoes first when I begin this. I'm not really sure. This whole project is going to be a time-lapse, not really a tutorial, because I think it's just, there's so much to do, and it's going to come in several videos. I think I'm going to do the suit, the shoes, the guns, and that might be it. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much each thing takes to do. Like, it's going to be a big project. I'm going to try to get it started. I don't really know where to begin. I'm going to need to do a lot of draping, a lot of pattern making, all that stuff. Good thing I know how to do this, because, you know, this is going to be one of the most extreme cosplays I've ever made. But I've done some pretty crazy stuff with cosplay before, so, you know, I think it'll be just fine. So I just got to get started. The glasses, I'm just going to get a pair of glasses, but she has like a specific little design right by the lens, so I'm going to have to figure out how to make that. Now there's that stuff that they came out with recently, unless it's been around for longer, I don't know. But it's like that plastic stuff that you can mold like clay, and if like you freeze it and it's like, or you put it in cold water and it's stiff. I'm going to use that to make the shoes. The heels are a little thin on the shoes I bought. I'm going to try to like add that to the back of the shoe somehow to make it a little thicker, because her heels are actually thicker. I don't think it'll stabilize the shoe or anything, but we'll see if it even works. And then I'll probably use it for the glasses. Anything else I can use it for is cool. We'll see. I've never used this stuff before. I should probably order some. So that's pretty much the attack plan for Bayonetta. Thankfully, Bayonetta does not have complicated makeup or prosthetics or anything like that on her face or whatever. That's pretty simple. Her earrings, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about those, because I think it's hard to tell what the heck the shape is, but I think it's supposed to be a shoe or a cat. I'm not really sure. I've seen drawings, but I don't know how accurate they are to the actual thing. The other option is, again, take the plastic stuff, mold it into a shoe shape. It's probably more flat, but whatever, it's something that I'll have to look into. So I think that's about everything for the Bayonetta cosplay. Within the coming weeks, you'll probably see some time-lapse videos hopefully pop up. Hopefully I'll be able to jam on this, but we'll see. And decisions will be made on what exactly I'm going to do. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully my cosplay stuff, you know, will be entertaining, I guess. In any case, I've got my plan, and hopefully it'll work out. So check out my other cosplay stuff. I don't have a lot yet, but I'm sure I will soon. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay whimsical.